In this video, I want to talk to you about Meguiar's paint reconditioning cream. This is their D151. This is their all-in-one, which is what it says here: cut, polish, and wax with one liquid. And I'll talk to you about why I use it, how I use it, when I use it, the difference between this one and compounds and polishes, and a lot of other information. So essentially, it's not meant to do heavy paint correction, right? So it's not like you're gonna go in there to a customer's vehicle or your vehicle and you're gonna get 80-90% swirl, scratch, imperfection removal from your paints and have it looking the best as it can. This is, at least in my opinion, where I use it, and I've been using it more and more on customers' vehicle, is typically if it's on a more economical budget, if we don't want to spend too much time on it, if we want to take it a step above a wash and wax and want to get a bit more shine and clarity out of it, or possibly when it's like overspray removal. And on overspray removal, when you're trying to remove the stuck on whatever it is, you have to get kind of aggressive with the clay, whether you're using a clay bar, clay mitt, whatever you're using. So you will mar the surface a lot more than just like traditional, maybe it's not that bad and you have to quickly clay it. As opposed to overspray, you have to get a bit aggressive sometimes. So when that happens, I'll also recommend getting it just lightly polished, just to remove that slight haze and a little bit of marring that may have been caused through claying with this D151. And it's important to make that distinction because something like Griot's fast correcting cream is meant to do heavy cutting. It's meant to be used in a two-step process. It's meant to to be an aggressive pass to really cut down all those imperfections. And here you're gonna use your light. You're gonna check how if you corrected most of the swirls out, if it's ready to go to the next polishing phase to really get that maximum shine and clarity. Whereas D151, I'm not really using the light much to check if I removed a consistent amount of swirls and scratches, right? Like I'll check it every now and then just to make sure it's doing what it's doing, but I'm not putting heavy emphasis on it. Did I remove 60, 70, whatever percent of swirls and scratches with one pass? Because again, what I do with this, my goal with the service is not to go for perfection. It's to make it look shinier. It's to make it look brighter. It's to make it look glossier. It's to make it look with more clarity without spending much time to keep the price down, to do it in an efficient manner, and to give the customer a good service while removing some swirls and scratches, like the minor to light swirls and scratches, while leaving a protective barrier behind. And that's what differs that from a two-step polish or just a polish in itself. So this is the Great's perfecting cream. So this is meant to be used in a two-step system, right? You're gonna cut you're gonna cut with the fast correcting cream and then polish it down with the perfecting cream, right? Two-step system with whatever pad you're using. And then you're gonna have to remove the oils and then apply whatever sealants or wax or protection that you're gonna do, whether it's ceramic, wax, or sealant. Now with this one though, is that you're gonna be done with just one step, which is why I use this a lot, because it just cuts everything down to one step, where you prep it, of course, and then as you polish it, you're able to remove scratches, and then it also leaves a layer of protection down, and you're ready to go. Like, there's no extra steps. And for me, and what I'm doing, again, this is like for business use. If you're doing this on your personal vehicle, it's up to you. But it's just meant to be great results, not looking for perfection, budget friendly, and quick, if I haven't said that one. So if this one, you're gonna have your light set up, you're gonna be checking it on every pass. You might be wiping it down with an IPA or with a oil cleaner every time to make sure the results you're seeing are what you're actually gonna get once it's all done. With this one, quicker passes, not taking as much time, not checking it as frequently with the light. As long as I get like one portion down of the panel right, I know I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna follow that process amongst the entire vehicle. Not checking it as much, not investing too much time panel per panel. Because remember, even if you wanted to spend a lot of time on the panels there, it's not meant to do heavy cutting anyways. So if you are gonna spend a much longer amount of time on the panels, you might as well switch over to something like the actual perfecting cream or some polish that's gonna get more cuts. You're still gonna have to do, remove the oils and then apply a wax to it, but at least you're gonna get way more cut if you just go with a dedicated polish that has more cut to it as opposed to this one. Now, I'm not saying, perfecting cream has more cut than, so it's just an example where, you can find others that have more cuts than this one, but this is just the example I'm giving you. And remember, you as a detailer, if you're doing this as a business, you have to have that mindset of knowing what the customer wants and just giving them that. Like if they just, if they just want a shiny car, right? Most people just want a shiny car. They're not really too concerned with, hey, I want to remove 80-90% of the frozen scratches. They just want to see, oh look, my car's shinier. It wasn't, now it is. Great. That's mostly what they want to see. So, if that's what they can afford, which is this, let's say, I don't know, let's just say it's Honda Accord, and it's like, okay, it'll be $240. But you in your head, because you love, you start working on it, and then you're like, well, I know I can get better results. I know I can get it's giving me like 60-70% out, but I know I can really go for like 90%. And then you switch up to like this method. That's when you're shooting yourself in the foot, and that's when you don't have to discipline yourself to just say, hey, look, this is what we agreed on with the customer. This is what they want. This is what I'm gonna give them, right? And then your own, gratification and urge to remove those scratches and swirls just comes down to you having, being too romantic about polishing paint. And I know you're gonna be like, well, I'm a professional. I can't let a customer leave out without being perfection. Look, you gotta get rid of that mindset altogether. Unless you have every customer paying you top dollar for that service, then you can't have that mindset, because you're just, what are you doing? Like you're just polishing paint, not making money, and you're having fun. But at the end of the day, you're like, you made this amount of money for this amount of work, so it just doesn't equal up. So that's why I'm a big fan of D151. If a customer just wants a little bit of shine, if they don't want to spend that much money, as compared to like a full-on paint correction, if I need to get it done quick, it's definitely something that I highly recommend. If you're doing this personally, like as a personal vehicle, and you want that perfection, would D151 be my first go-to for you? No, because one, like this one specifically, I think it's only sold in gallon size. So if you're doing this for a personal vehicle, like just your vehicle, then you're probably better off going with an actual polish. Not this one specifically, although it's great. Go with actual polish, just because you'll get more cut out of it and you'll get better results. And then you can, you have the time to, remove the oils and then apply whatever polish, whatever layer of protection you want. And you'll just get better results like that for personal use if you're able to spend more time and you want to get better results. Of course, a two-step, correction is always best, but it doesn't always fit everyone's budget in terms of time and money. Whereas, like, do you have, if you're doing this as a personal vehicle or even as a business, do you have 10, 12, 14, 16 hours to just work and correct the vehicle? So if you're on a time budget, but you have enough time, once the polish is great, then you apply your layer protection. If you're that tight on a time budget, but still on great results, I'd go with an all-in-one, with a D151, or any all-in-one that has similar attributes as this one. And I'm always working outside, even when I'm polishing paint. And I don't really call this, to clarify, I don't really say this isn't paint correction, right? Using D151, I wouldn't deem it as paint correction. I'd put it more as like paint polishing or like paint enhancement. Because again, the main thing is that you're not removing, the emphasis isn't to remove as many swirls and scratches as you can. It's just to make it glossier by just removing some light marring, some light scratching, and to leave that layer of protection behind. So there's still gonna be quite a bit of swirls and scratches depending on the paint condition. But with that being said though, like I've tackled some pretty heavy vehicles, and it's removed around like, it's still leaving that layer of protection behind, so, give it that. But where I see like 70% come off, and I mean, it's like, I'm really happy with this product, because it's really done some wonders on vehicles that I didn't think it'd do that great of a job. And I'm always working outside, in the heat and in the cold. And unfortunately, with pollen season, sometimes my customers don't have garages, so I'm literally polishing it outside. And, it doesn't dry up quick, it doesn't flash quick, it comes off very easily. Maybe I'll use like Meguiar's Express Spray Wax, just to like give it an extra step of protection and just help me remove it sometimes. But overall, it's a good product. And again, I'm outside most of the time, not really in garages, so it works in both environments, which is great for me, because you kind of need a product that can work in all conditions. So that wraps up this video. If you have any questions about D151 or anything like that, just leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll see you on the next one.